safe are the retirement savings in Europe and Switzerland? Jean-Pierre Diserens from the Convention of Independent Financial Advisors joins me in the studio right now to share his insights. Jean-Pierre, welcome back to the studio.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be back here and to work with you on sensitive subjects.
Indeed, we're touching a sensitive one today as well. We're going to be looking at the idea of pension security, of savings, of having that nest egg in the future. Now, according to the 2014 Global Age Watch Index, Norway is actually the best place for sort of older people to go and live, with Sweden, Switzerland and Canada followed closely behind. Do you buy into this? How would you sum up really your thoughts on pension security at present?
Yes, I would certainly buy into this. For Norway, with the oil reserves and the sovereign funds they have, this is sufficient money to secure the future, even if the insurance or the retirement plans, I'm talking here about the government retirement plans, that are built like Ponzi schemes. And therefore, it's very interesting to look at countries that surround us who are entirely built on that scheme. We will not mention them, but everybody knows who it is, and have developed an art in making people believe that they're going to get any pension, maybe when they're 65, or even earlier. If you're lucky, you can get it at age 55 in certain countries.
Well, that would be something worth having, I'm sure. I know my parents would, the idea of 55 pension would be delighted. Now, the index surmised that governments must prepare to expand social pensions and ensure that the growing demographic is contributing efficiently, effectively into society. That all sounds very good in theory, Jean-Pierre, but I mean, how much would that cost? Is it even a possibility?
Well, our politicians are here to make us believe that they do everything right. And of course, what you just said is wishful thinking, because they use the term growing demographics. Well, the only demographics that are growing is the demographics of those people who will be entitled to a retirement. Those who will be paying in are being reduced significantly due to the age factors that we all know. And that's why that poor Ponzi scheme that was very well designed will have trouble surviving unless governments find other ways to steal money from their citizens.
Oh, strong accusations here, but I mean, if not banks, if not governments, who has to do more? What are the alternatives here?
Now, we have to be extremely careful with the alternatives, and we have to motivate our parliamentary members to protect the savings of the citizens from being expropriated or misappropriated, to serve as financing for these Ponzi schemes, which is a way to solve the problem. But basically, this way is an expropriation of the savings of the citizens, and all parliamentary members should be screaming at any politician that makes this suggestion, because expropriation is not permitted under universal human rights.
It sounds like a fancy word for stealing. But I mean, how much of that is public knowledge?
Well, the public knowledge is very well known by those to whom it happens. But what is interesting to see is that the reaction of the medias, of the parliamentary members, be it at European level or at national level, is perfectly inexistent. Nobody reacts strongly to that.
Excellent. It does seem like a bit of a vicious circle there. Now, coming back to the report that I mentioned earlier on, it called for a holistic approach and again encouraging, saying that the demographic should be celebrated and should be kind of hoped that it would contribute more purposefully and successfully back into society. Do you see this mentality changing anytime soon, though, with regards to how much the elder demographic can contribute positively to society?
Well, I think there is a necessity for the older generation to realize that when these pension funds or the age for the government pension funds were introduced, I know the figure from Switzerland, it was shortly after World War II in 1948, and the right to the pension for a male was set at age 65, which it still is. And the expected life expectation at that time was 68. So the Ponzi scheme was set up with expecting to have to pay for 3 years. Nowadays, life expectation is 80. So that we have to look at it very differently. And of course, it is not sustainable to say that we will keep retiring people in certain countries at 55 when their life expectation is 8.
Well, it obviously is a hugely interesting topic, one which affects every one of us, and I'm sure we should probably all thinking a little bit about it maybe sooner rather than later. But thank you for coming in today, Jean-Pierre, and sharing your insights with us. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a great pleasure to me.
Thank you. Okay, well, that's all from Jean-Pierre and myself for the moment. Don't forget, there are many more exclusive interviews coming your way on Dukascopy TV. So make sure you keep clicking back. Bye for now.